All right, so today I'm off of work, so I might as well get to work. So what I've got here today is, I think this is an engine bar from a Harley that somebody wanted me to powder coat for them. So I've got the bar itself, obviously, these brackets, which I'm not gonna do, and I let him know that. But if you could see the nickel plating on here, it doesn't really look too good. Where they made the stamp for the left and right, the same on this one. Where they made the stamp for the left and right, it looks like the coating is lifting. So upon my research, I let the guy know that people have had trouble with the coating on these. So I told him, listen, I don't know how well it's going to take in the heat, so on and so forth. I said, if it comes out like crap, I'll try my best to fix it, and you don't have to pay me for it. And he said, okay, that's fine. I'm probably going to replace it anyway. Well, I agreed to do it. So I got gloss black powder and gloss clear to lay over it. That's more for UV protection. So even though I'm laying gloss already, I'm gonna put gloss on top. Just gonna work out better. So what I'm gonna do first is pretty much pre-bake this part, and I wanna make sure that it's gonna hold up to the heat. So I've got my new oven in here, which I don't know that I've had on the channel yet. So here it is. I think it's a 3x5 by 3 or something. It's pretty big, so I've used it many times for many projects. First, I'm gonna have to set up my strut here with my anchors so that I can hang that in the oven. Well, I got it hanging, but this is gonna suck because it's like just as big as I can have it. There's little to no room in the back to push it back. Then when the door closes, it's probably about this far from the door. And I would like to raise it so that the heat, because the heat will rise, I would like to raise it, but I can't really because I have my thermometer here. So even though this oven is huge and I can sit down inside of it and close the door, there's still not enough room to do basic parts. So it's all wiped off pretty well. Now we're gonna try to bake it and see how it holds up. So it's set to 450 and right now it's 61 degrees. So I have an infrared thermometer, 65, it's a little off. But it's okay if when I'm reading this, if it says like 390 or 404 or 405 or something like that, it's okay to be within a small threshold because these aren't always 100% accurate. And also, since I have a part hanging at about here and a part hanging about here, the temperature will differentiate between the whole part because, like I said, the heat rises, so the top end might get a little hotter than the lower end. So I want to try to scan in the middle. So here's the gloss black that I'm using. 10 minutes at 400 degrees. What is this? Okay. So, well, I probably should have gotten the box, but 18 minutes, 375. So it bakes longer, but at a lower temperature. I wanted it to kind of not fully cure so that this clear coat can actually bond and hold together with the black. But if they have different curing schedules, I'll just do this at the full 10 minutes and I'll do that at the full 18 minutes. It's kind of better at a lower temperature. But being that this is 400, I need my oven. Well, I need the part to get to 400. I have this set to 450 actually because in my experience using this, 400 degrees was only actually getting the part to like 340. So I set it a little bit higher so that the part can actually get to the temperature it needs to be. And since I've got time waiting here forever, I'm gonna basically use this big guy here with the powder in it. I like to pour all of the powder in it that I have because it just makes it spray a little better if the container is full. This is my gun here. This is my ground wire. I usually paint in here, but that part might be a little large. So I've actually got this hook hanging from the ceiling here. It's wrapped around the beam, so I might actually just use this. It's easier to coat out here. I wish I had a proper booth, but I don't. At least I can open that door to let some air in. This is also the interface for the paint gun. So I have all my stuff dialed in, so I actually like to click that knob in to make sure that I can't really move it around. The only thing I'm really concerned about is this dial here. I kind of like to lower it a little bit when I'm doing a second coat. So the part reached temperature, with the exception of, I don't know, 10 or so degrees, which is okay. Shut the oven off to let it cool. I'm just gonna open the oven and just let the heat out. And I'll come back down in an hour or so and prep it. Okay, so it's been way over an hour. So this stuff should be like cold by now. Pretty much gonna scuff it up, and then I will paint it and hang it up again. So I'm just gonna use some 320 grit paper. Definitely rough enough to leave a mark for that stuff to stick to, but it's not too rough to where it's gonna leave really deep gashes. So let me set this camera up and I will time lapse this. So I'm done with that. I have my compressor set up and my line is running all the way over here. All I have to do is wipe it down. I didn't heavily sand it, just kind of looks like brushed aluminum now. And we'll wipe it down and I'll go ahead and throw some paint on it. But first I gotta set everything up. But I'll shut the camera off while I do that. One other thing, very, very important, at least for me anyway. A mask. You should always wear a mask if you're painting with anything, cans, wet, whatever. Always wear a mask. Dust, debris, anything that creates particles in the air, you should wear a mask. So what I'm going to do now, that all the dust has settled, for the most part, I guess you could still, I don't know if it's glare or what, let's see. Cool. Now that all the dust has settled, what I'm going to do is, I'm done with the black pretty much, once that bakes. But as for spraying it, I'm done. So I'll grab my vacuum, I'll dump the powder back in the bag, clean up the reservoir for the other color. By reservoir, the hopper, whatever, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'll clean it up for the other color, and hopefully this turns out good. I might throw the clear on today, I might wait for another day, but so far, good progress. So timer just went off, black coat is done and cooling. So once it cures, it might dull out a little bit because the paint is still technically wet. Like, it's melted. I could probably rub my finger in it. I'd hurt myself, obviously, but it would leave a mark in the paint. Not so much as it would in wet paint, but it's pretty much melted. So, yeah, I mean, looks super good. And then plus I have to put the clear on maybe today or tomorrow. But I'm super happy with it. Okay, so this is out of the oven. Came out super, super good. And it's ready for clear. If anything happens, I will document it. But other than that, this is it, pretty much. Well, I don't know what happened, but it looks good, right? But for some reason, it's got metallics in it. I don't know. I don't know why it's got metallics in it. So I might have to redo the whole thing. It looks awesome, but somehow it's got like silver flake in it. So that makes me think that what I have in here, for some reason, has silver flake in it. So it's just clear vision, which is just supposed to be just clear. It's just supposed to be clear. There's not supposed to be anything about it. I absolutely don't know what would have happened. I mean, even if there was some paint left over in there, it would have been from the black. So, I mean, the bar looks awesome. It looks really cool, but this is not. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this metallic is from. I don't get it. I didn't spray metallic. I have no metallic to spray.